Well, we can go ahead, and I think some people will just trickle in afternoon. But today's our final session of DFEND3. So we're just going to summarize everything we talked about. And I can close this area because it gets distracting. Everything we talked about and get some feedback. If you did complete like all the sessions for the study, Emma has a list. We'll contact you next week for your mailing address and have you sign a form, and we'll send you your gift card in the mail. Oops, come on. There. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all of our personalized coaches, Daniela, Jamie, and Bryce. I'm not sure if they're on the call, but we really appreciate you taking the time every week to talk to everyone from DFEND. And I know I learned a lot, and I think everyone else did too. And also, it wouldn't have been possible without Emma. Emma kept everything organized, on track, logged in, sending the emails every week. So a big thank you to Emma. And then our other content contributors, Lily, Zach, and Keely, they are responsible for most of the things you saw or will see on our YouTube channel. And thank you to Dr. Howie Hickey. She's the best. I keep pulling her in to defend session after session. And look for also, I think for our newsletter, if there's any exercises medicine initiatives, we can send out with our listserv.
And of course, Jamie didn't know I added this picture. She never asked for thanks, but Jamie has really kept this all going and for over a year. So DFEND 1, 2, and 3. So a small applause, because I know you have more than that, to the DFEND queen.
Oh, thank you. I was just telling Erin, I'm like, where did you find that picture? This was specifically in Boston, visiting like some friends from grad school.
The internet is a scary place.
I know, man. I'm gonna have to delete that Facebook account. So, you can even see my bracelet. That's okay. I think I was 40 at the time. I was old enough to drink. So now all of our content's online. Check out our YouTube channel and our website. And Emma has sent me a bunch of fast facts for review, but I just haven't gotten around to that. So we will add some more content on our website. And it will stay up, I think, for the foreseeable future to access all this information. And I'm not sure if anyone from Extension is on the call right now, but I do see a lot of emails that go around on the list through the listserv with questions, and we have lots of fast facts and things on some of the content on the DFEND website. And we do ask that you take the final DFEND survey. We need the final DFEND survey as part of the study to receive the gift card, but also we need around 70 more responses to match the initial 90 responses that we got. So Emma sent, I think, some links earlier, and maybe Emma, you can put the link in the chat before the end of the call, and please take our survey. So we just thought we'd go a year in review of DFEND. It started May 15th. I looked today, 2020, and it's ending June 25th, 2021. I think we've only took a break for like 10 total Fridays during this whole time. So I just also wanted to share, I got an alert earlier this month. We've had 890 downloads since we started May 15th last year. And this is just data from the last 90 days. So you can see that DFEND has had a global reach. And if anyone's interested, we actually have a list of like all the universities and institutions that are using our DFEND content. So that was exciting to see. So in DFEND 1, we really started this as a goal to create a community talking about weekly cooking ideas, food safety, exercise demos, and fast facts to provide an open forum for the people in Arkansas to ask us questions and really to start to introduce food, exercise, and nutrition, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. And because of the popularity of DFEND 1, we launched DFEND 2 with really the goal of creating a bigger understanding of the functions of diet, food, and exercise and nutrition in relation to health and well-being to help us make healthy choices during social distancing. So this was really more going back to the basics and giving people who are attending our program a background in nutrition and exercise and physical activity to help make smart choices. And that actually then led to DFEND3, which was about using all the information from our DFEND series to live a healthier lifestyle by creating healthier habits and by implementing behavior changes. We added the personalized coaching, goal setting, and a lot of more YouTube demonstrations. So did I add this or did you add that?
You did.
Okay, so this was, we talked about a lot of determinants of health behavior. So our behaviors depend on us as individuals, our social support, so interpersonal factors, organizational factors, community and environmental factors, and policy factors. And we had speakers touch on each of these topics throughout DFEND3. And I think, really these different determinants probably impacted our SMART goals and the success of our SMART goals. And then just to remind everyone, if you've given up on your SMART goal or you want to make a new one for summer, to achieve success, set goals that motivate you, use the SMART goal format, set your goals in writing, and frame your goal statement positively. So start with a positive attitude, make an action plan, and stick with it. So I think that number 5 is probably hard for a lot of us. And just a reminder, what's a SMART goal? So it's specific, but also simple. It's measurable, it's achievable. So I think we've given the example, like maybe you want to lose weight, but maybe you want to lose 60 pounds and that just seems so vast and unachievable. But by setting it in smaller goals, like in 2 months, I'm going to lose like 4 pounds. That might help you feel more achievable. Make it relevant and realistic, and make it results based, and then time bound. So give it a time frame to achieve your goal.
And so throughout DFEND3, we've had some great guest speakers talk about different strategies to support our SMART goals and behavior change. So I was looking at our agenda and it seems like so long ago that we had some of these speakers, but Casey talked to us about motivation and reward. So if you remember, we talked about extrinsic and intrinsic types of motivation, and we want to try and find intrinsic motivation to do these healthy behaviors. But sometimes it's okay to start with extrinsic motivation. So if you can come up with a specific goal, maybe, if you eat your vegetables for a week, you can splurge on some online shopping. That's what I always use in my classes. I don't know why, because it's not bad food related. We also talked about tracking and feedback, both for nutrition and physical activity. So there's lots of apps and different types of wearables like Fitbits and etc. But the important thing is that to just make sure that you're tracking something that's meaningful to you. We had Caitlin come and talk to us about self-talk. I thought that was one of the more interesting presentations about how we can be positive and kind of shape our mindset. And then we had Ed Mink come and talk to us about mindfulness, and we actually participated in some kind of breathing and stretching exercises. So if you're ever feeling really stressed at work, they're all chair-based. You can Zoom at your desk. So go and check out that YouTube of that Zoom session. We talked about social support and how the people around us, whether they're friends or family, sometimes influence our behavior negatively, but maybe how can we utilize that social network to help support us in our healthy choices. And recently, Bryce talked to us about self-efficacy and how important it is to have high self-efficacy for the behaviors. So again, self-efficacy is just the belief in your ability to do a specific behavior. So hopefully throughout DFEND3, you've increased your self-efficacy towards being healthy, whatever your SMART goal was. And Bryce also talked about some ways that we can improve our self-efficacy. And hopefully you tried that out in one of the challenges. And then like Jamie talked about, there's lots of things that influence our behavior. And we started out talking in the beginning about theories and what determines our behavior, and really emphasizing that you're not alone and this is a challenge to eat healthy and do physical activity, because there's all these things around us that sometimes make it more difficult. So Lindsay talked to us about the different social influences, whether it's social media or just people around us and all the messages we receive and how we can filter through those. Mike talked about the environment and how that influences, especially nutrition behavior. Dee talked to us about availability and accessibility and showed us lots of different maps about food deserts, and got us thinking about, where we have access to healthy foods if we're maybe in rural Arkansas, or you don't have to get that far out of the big cities of Arkansas to find it challenging to find fresh fruit and vegetables. And that kind of led into what Chris talked about in terms of policies, both big policies and little p policies. Like, for example, family policies about what you allow yourself or your kids to eat regularly. Bonnie talked about some kind of community influences on our behavior. And so thinking about, again, where we live, who we interact with on a daily basis can influence what we eat and our activity. And then Bob kind of talked more about theory, which touched on all of these influences and how we can maybe utilize some of these things or change some of these things to help us do those healthy behaviors that we want to do.
I think that's it. We just want to thank everyone. Thanks for supporting us. I think we do have funding for a DFEND 4.0, but we have to think about what makes that different. So if you have any feedback or things you'd like to see, more guest speakers, less guest speakers, specialized topics that you want to know more about for yourself or your communities, send us an email and we will figure it out.
Yeah, so we'll still be around this whole forever.
Yeah. Well, maybe not if you don't get tenure. That's
Yeah.
Just kidding. Erin's gonna get
tenure. So you can always email DFEND or Jamie or myself directly. And thank you all again for your patience. This has kind of been a trial effort over a year, and you guys have stuck with us, at least in DFEND3, which was longer than we had planned originally. So great on you guys for sticking with this kind of whole healthy behavior idea, and your patience and persistence, and hopefully you've seen some benefit out of it, even if it's just small little changes or just knowledge and awareness about what changes you need to make as we all continue on this journey.
Yeah, really thanks for supporting us. I think, this was a big experiment. It was 5.5 months or something really long. So we just appreciate everyone coming week to week and making it worth our while. And it's nice to feel a little appreciated. Oh, thanks, Lynn. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and your suggestions and comments and kind of just sharing knowledge and what's worked and what hasn't worked for everybody is great too.
Yeah. And we wrote a grant together to elaborate build DFEND in the counties. So we are hoping that gets funded and gives us extra resources to actually use with agents and develop something that can be used throughout the state. Okay. Anyone have questions, comments, concerns?
Successes, challenges?
Yeah, how did everyone end up sticking to their SMART goals, or at least thinking about them? Okay. I stuck to I think about my SMART goal all the time. I think I do it most of the days. I listened to a few of Jamie's sessions on, healthy habits and eating behaviors.
And Jamie, I just wanted to say that the schedule was wonderful, very comprehensive. And in the future, yesterday on Twitter, it said the UK was banning all junk food advertising before 9 p.m. because they said their kids are so obese that they have to quit eating so much fat, sugar, and salt. So we might want to push for something like that in the United States.
Yeah, I think would that be like a tough lobbying situation? I don't disagree.
It would be a big policy change.
Yeah, but I know right now is it the US or was it when I was working in Europe? Isn't it illegal to advertise to kids junk food?
I know there's been some changes in that advertising, just thinking about like cereals, like all the
Yeah.
cereal commercials that they
I
used to
don't,
have.
I mean, okay, like I just use streaming services now with my son, but I think they cannot advertise junk food to kids here. I thought. Anyone know that for sure? For sure in Europe, they could not advertise to kids below like age 5. Junk
I
food.
don't know. It just said, like they could not do the advertisement before 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So they must be doing it. But anyway, it's been really, really interesting participating in Defend,
Thank you.
all the different ones.
And thanks, Lynn. That's awesome. That you lost
Question.
15 pounds.
Oh, thank you. I have a little information on what you just said, not a lot. I know that like if you have Smurf cereal, you can't advertise Smurf cereal during the Smurfs cartoon.
Okay.
But you can have a different cereal, but just not Smurf cereal because kids can't make a difference. But one of the professors in our department actually did a study to look at how kids were targeted with sugary cereals and salty stuff during like kids shows, and found out, of course, they do a terrible job. So they wrote all this up and they sent it in and said, hey, you're doing this. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We'll do better. And then they did a follow-up study and nothing changed.
I'm sure.
That sounds
Now,
about right.
it's been several years ago, so maybe it's better. Some of my information's dated on that, but I just thought that was interesting that they were like, oh, yeah, we're doing that. We should not do that. Okay, we won't.
Yeah, and I think like I remember when I first started at the U of A, so almost 10 years ago, Rosemary Rodabaugh, I'm not sure if anyone remembers her in Extension, she had been part of the state campaign to ban junk food from sugar sweetened beverages from vending machines in schools. So I think that's still I think you can't have sodas in school in Arkansas. But I think in like Erin's part of Healthy Active Arkansas, which is, I think they've restructured, but part of their mission was to help influence policy.
Yeah, they've done a lot with the sugar sweetened beverages and putting in new water fountains in some of the schools, so people actually want to drink from them, like water bottle filling stations, because some of them are pretty gross.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like, I remember there was a professor who used to work in Erin's department on hydration. He's in Arizona now, but one time he presented a study, and like in New York public schools, they gave every kid a water bottle and put in those like water bottle filling stations, and they really increased water consumption. So I don't know.
I know my son was allergic to milk. And so with school lunches, you get milk. And so we requested that he got fruit juice or water, and they said, yeah, for an extra $1. And so, he couldn't get water for free. He could get the milk, with the lunch that way. And so it was a battle. We fought all through school and we lost, every time. We just had to pay the extra $1 or send him with his own water bottle.
Yeah, and some schools don't even let you bring your own water bottles at some point because they don't want kids to, spill them, or they have to control what's in them.
And I know like during COVID, when kids returned back to school, at least in Fayetteville, they closed the drinking fountains. Mm-hmm. So you could either send your kid with water, but they weren't providing more than like 1 bottle of water a day. So if your kid drank all their water bottle, they went thirsty.
Yeah, especially for small children, they need to be able to parents bring their own water supply there, because I remember that distinctly when I was in school. The only thing to drink out of it was that lousy water fountain, and it was warm water. It was never good. So I remember just not getting water during the day. I remember needing it. And the only time that you could really drink it was if you came off the playground and you was so hot and exhausted, you just had to have some water. But think about if you're only getting a little water at that time during really an 8-hour day, 6 to 8 hour day, that is hard.
Yeah. My dad actually made me afraid of drinking fountains.
Mm-hmm.
Was a pediatric dentist, And like over the summer, he had a bunch of kids that would like lose their permanent front teeth because other kids would come and like smash their head while they were drinking out of them.
Oh,
This was like pre-water, but so now like I have
Mm.
this insane fear of drinking out of like 30 years later, of drinking out of
Mhm.
a water fountain. So I told him the other day, I was like, you scarred me for life for like drinking out of a
no,
water
you want to be aware, and kids are bad
fountain. So
at times, and especially if they do something like that. Excuse me,
Oh,
I didn't mean
look.
to cut somebody
oh,
off.
I saw Serena. That's awesome that you got water bottle filling stations.
I see what Serena said. I was getting ready to comment on that. One of the challenges is, so I teach public speaking and I'm over oftentimes in Kemple, and they went through and they replaced everything with the water bottle filling stations. But students, before they give speeches, get really nervous, they get dry mouth. And if they didn't bring a water bottle, they'll be panicking because there's no water fountains in some of the buildings on campus. And so they're like, I can't get any. And so, they'll just borrow somebody else's water bottle, just not so very sanitary, or they'll just be finding somebody's old Starbucks cup and rinse it out or something like that, because, we've almost gone too far one direction that we've missed.
I know in food science, they bought an adapter. So you could like adapt your current water fountain and just add the water bottle.
Yeah, I think like in airports, like they have both, right? You can
Yeah.
either drink from it or
Because
fill your
I
own
was
water.
surprised, I'm in a new building, what is it, like 4 years old, and they don't have water bottle filling stations. They just have really like futuristic looking water fountains with very poor water flow. You can only fill like half your water bottle before it starts going on the floor. Anyway, anyone else that was able to like reach their SMART goals? I mean, I think I really pay attention now to fruit and vegetable and whole fruit and vegetable intake. That was one of my SMART goals, and I think it's worked. I actually wasn't that familiar with SMART goals before DFEND3, so I taught myself. But I think that achievable part, that's what I was always missing, going big and then failing and giving up quick. So breaking my goals into smaller achievable goals has really helped my mindset, at least. I keep going to the doctor and they keep saying women your age. So
Need a new doctor.
I know, because they're always men my age. But yeah. Okay, anything else? Anything you'd like to see if we started this again? Like one idea I had is just bringing maybe less frequent, but having guest speakers from around the country on different topics that maybe we don't have the expertise here. But I know I did get some feedback that, like we have to make sure that they can speak in a language that everyone can understand and not in their super sciencey language. Because that's a challenge. And I think, Lynn, you were the one who were you the one who recommended the book by Alan Alda? Someone recommended a public speaking book. I bought it, started reading it. It's good.
I love Alan.
Yeah, he talks about the curse of knowledge, how like if you're a scientist and you know all this stuff and then you try to talk to, normal humans, that you forget how to talk to normal humans. So you use that super science language.
I started reading it. It's good. And it's written in really big font, which I like. So it makes you feel like you're reading really fast. And I saw Aaron's dad, Jack, wrote about looking for new fruits and veggies to try. So, I mean, we live in Northwest Arkansas. There's not always a ton of exotic fruits and vegetables. So I've been trying to find new things to do.
You need to go to the Asian Amigos store in Springdale.
They have lots of exotic fruits.
Mm-hmm. They have like Hispanic and Asian food.
$10. Okay. Oh yeah.
But they have a bunch of like lots of Asian vegetables.
And I think some of the Marshallese like grocers, they also have like unique fruits. But I've been trying to do like put fruits more in salads where I wouldn't normally, like watermelon and feta or things like that. Mom,
and
I
did see a good tip on cutting watermelon, because that's one of my things. I know you don't like watermelon, but I love watermelon and I hate cutting it. But you can use dental floss
to cut through the rind,
to cut the fruit out of the rind. So you like cut the slices and then you just scoop it out. So just search for the YouTube video. I do have
a big watermelon because I was going to make a vodka watermelon slush tonight.
I have found that a scoop, and they have those little when you use to make balls, but I
melon
use yes, but I use an ice cream scoop too. You know, I don't know well, if you're gonna cut it, and cut it all out, put it in a container, which I do that. But sometimes I will use the ice cream scoop and maybe do just half of it and put the other half in the refrigerator till I have a chance to take the rest of it out. But
I use I take like a small, like a melon baller and like
Mhm.
melons
Yes,
them.
Oh,
So they become like melon ice cubes.
absolutely. Yes, that I don't have a melon baller, but I've seen that done,
Yeah.
and it seems
Well, I
like a
just have like a mini ice cream. Like on
Mhm.
a set of 3 ice cream scoops. So I just use,
Yes, because it's so wonderful when
Yeah.
when they're sweet.
it's really good. And also it makes like your cocktails a little happy.
healthy.
Fools you into thinking they're healthy. Okay, any other comments? I see Bryce and Jamie are on the call. Any last minute questions for our experts? No. Okay, well, thank you. I think we'll wrap it up. We appreciate again your time and commitment. I did see like having once a month. That's a great suggestion. Oh no, one local farmer. That's sad.
Maybe it's too cold.
Still?
I don't know.
I know I heard on NPR the other day in Fayetteville, like, oh, a cold front's moving through in the 70s today and Tuesday and maintain that cold front into Wednesday, high of 84. And I was like, when is 84 a cold front? My God, it's a heat wave. But anyway, well, thanks, Jamie. Oh, 48 degrees, my goodness. See, I meant to live in like the north. I am not meant for all this body sweat. So anyway, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for everyone who's attended. Thank you, Emma, for all of your hard work on this project. We appreciate it. And don't forget to take your survey.
And have a great 4th of July coming up.
Yeah, and safe 4th of July. Wash your hands.
Keep your food at the right temperature.
Yep. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.